So, as you can see, none of this is easy. It wasn't easy for Larry Smarr, and now we basically have the lobbyists once again. The lobbyists are deciding that there's only going to be $15 million, because if it's $15 million, they can only build a 56 kilobit line. But Michigan thought outside the box. Some people might say we cheated. Other universities wanted to get the grant, kind of thought we did cheat. We didn't play by the rules. Like in Star Trek, we rewrote the rules. So we got it. And we slid underneath the nose of AT&T, a 1.5 megabit network that started large and started fast and got faster. And as Doug talked, it was a very, very, very successful network. And it had follow-on effects, just like Larry talked about. It had these follow-on effects of causing campuses to build networking, because in would come this really fast national network, so you better fix the on-campus networking. So it was really quite wonderful. And partners, IBM, MCI. The other thing is AT&T was being beat up by MCI at the time, and maybe they weren't noticing. So we might have been lucky. It could easily have been 2 years earlier or 2 years later. It might not have worked. So whatever, it did work, and we can be very grateful. So the University of Michigan was sort of the center of, they ran the Network Operations Center and did the network design, worked on the software with IBM and built the network. And it had a very exponential growth as it went forward. This building right here is on our North Campus, and it was, for me personally, the very first place that I typed the first characters that went across the internet. I walked in this door to, I wasn't at the university at that time, but I had friends here, and so I came in and I was typing on, hello on the internet. And so this building was where the Network Operations Center was, and where I touched the internet for the NSFNet for the first time. So it started out real simple, but its goal was to enable connections to other networks. The regional networks got formed. Larry Smarr mentioned that. And so then the backbone became sort of a forcing function to get more campuses on and more states, et cetera, et cetera. Now, one of the things that was quite interesting is we in the academic field had the right to use this network, but when it first started out, it was supposed to be academic only. And then once it was established in the late 80s and early 90s, there were some people that started sort of like bending those rules or bypassing those rules or ignoring those rules. And it wasn't really clear who was supposed to police those rules. And the people, like at the University of Michigan, their heart wasn't in reducing who would use the internet. They wanted to expand, right? And so there were places, often bulletin board systems, would somehow get a connection to the internet, and then they would give internet access to a bunch of non-academics. And so it became increasingly in the late 80s understood by everyone around the world. But this is pretty much nerds, right? They can sit with a screen, with a command line interface, with a text-based screen, and they can get excited about that. I'm like that. I can get excited about things that are non-graphical because I just make it up in my head. But we needed something to pop this into the collective consciousness of all humanity rather than just academics first and then nerds second. But that was about to change.